Hello everybody. I'm making sure my computer's getting caught up with me and giving everybody a moment to see that I am live here for our Thursday night virtual craft together here in the studio. Just getting ready for the weekend, I think. Hello Cheryl. Hope you're doing well, my friend. So I'm going to give it a minute for everybody to catch up and see that I'm live and hopefully join us tonight for the virtual craft together. I will be doing a 3D project tonight, so not a card. So I throw these in every now and again just to kind of mix it up. And so that's what I'll be doing tonight, is a little treat or favor container box. It's a little baggy, if you will. So hopefully, if you haven't done one of these before, there's all different ones you can make. This one's made out of a 6x6 piece of paper to start with. And so I'll give you all the dimensions and things as I go through the project tonight. So hopefully you are having a great week. You know, there's a lot going on. It's the end of the month. Tomorrow is the 30th, which is crazy. You know, so it'll be the end of the month and Halloween before we know it. And then November will be here, and then it'll be the busy holiday season, I think, for a lot of us. So, hello. So if you're popping on, make sure you say hi and share the video and tell me what you're doing if you're crafting along with me tonight. That's my hope, is that you're taking a little bit of time tonight to wind down and do a little crafting or something fun and creative. Hi Marisa. Hi Irene. Hi ladies. Hello. So let me know what you're doing, of course, when you share the video, and if you share what you're doing tonight, or if you're watching a replay on Friday, then you get your name in the drawing for Prize Patrol. So I give away something every week, and just change it up, whatever it is, depending on what's going on in the studio and what I have on hand. And almost always you get a couple cards, so that's a given, because there's always cards in here. And then, you know, whatever I've got going on that week, maybe something random, maybe something to do with what I'm making. So, hello. Glad you can join tonight. Reese is working on some Halloween treats from the September. You're down to the last night, probably making them, right? That's all right. You got to get them done tonight for tomorrow, right? Hello. Thank you for sharing also. I am currently standing up because I could not get my phone situated in the right, I don't know, it was just bothering me. So I'm standing up, but I usually stand up when I do the crafting part anyway. So I'll be doing, when I flip the phone down, I usually stand up anyway. So, all right, well, I'm going to give it another minute and then we're going to get going. Like I said, if you weren't here right at the beginning, I'm going to be doing a favor tonight. And for those of you that did participate in our Team Better Your Best event last night, this is the same favor. I'm just going to actually do it from the very beginning. Oh, my card holder, that I've had for a very long time, and I believe it came from Pier 1. So that, like, a very long time. It's just a photo holder. That's all it is. So, and I stuck it on the wall a couple days ago and just have been adding cards to it. All the cards up here are ones I've gotten from swaps. So I know it's not the best to see from where you're at, but at least it's something decorative besides a blank wall or the messiness of my studio. So, Irene, you're waiting. Yesterday was not was Wednesday. You're right, and today is Thursday. So, oh, that's funny. The week must be going long for you. So, Tracy's working on Christmas card gift holders. Very nice. Now you know the next paper pumpkin coming up for November is also going to be gift card holders. So that's awesome. So hopefully you've got that in line to get that one for November. I think you do get paper pumpkin, but that's the November kit is going to be gift card holders. So I'm excited for that one. All right, well, like I said, I'm going to get started now. I have a little treat to make, and a couple of you have already gotten to make one of these, but not everybody. So I figured I would start from the beginning and break it down step by step. I just realized I was going to put something on here, but I will do it after. So I'm gonna get the phone flipped down, and I know what you're doing. I bet I know what you're doing. So have fun with that, Tracy, but I'm glad you're making some. That's awesome. All right, I'm gonna flip the phone down and get you going on my desktop. So give me just a second to do that. And hopefully I don't lose you. I have some different lighting going on, and I'm trying to figure out the best way to do it here on my desktop. So I may have to adjust the lighting once I get situated here. So we'll give it a second to catch up. But the lighting is in my face now. Okay. I don't know if that's any better or worse, but we'll go with it. So sometimes we have glare, sometimes we don't. So we'll catch up on that. Okay. So what I'm going to be using tonight are some products that will be coming out for everybody starting November 3rd. So these are actually not available to customers yet. They will be available beginning November 3rd until, hold on, let me make sure I get the dates right because this is a new product coming out. I don't want to misdate, but some of the products will be available into the new spring catalog, but not all of them. So let me tell you a little bit about that. Yes, starting November 3rd until some of them will launch and go right into the spring catalog. So then that'll be, of course, till June. All right, so this is the new stamp set. It is called Quite Curvy. You may have seen it. People, of course, demonstrators have had it all month. We had the opportunity to pre-order it beginning of this month. And then there's a coordinating die set, which is quite nice. And this is called Quite Curvy Dies. I believe that's the name of them. Yes, Curvy Dies, just Curvy Dies. Quite Curvy is the stamp set, Curvy Dies. And several of these pair up with the images from the stamp set. So these are just some borders here. And then this one pairs up with this nice leaf image. The three birds, they each have their own die. This sprig of florals here has its own die. And then this little sprig right here has its own die. And then there's some extra dies too that don't have matching stamps. So that is, these two pieces are going to be available from starting November 3rd to customers all the way until through June, until June, with the mini catalog coming in the spring. Okay, but they've also did a complimentary stamp set called Curvy Christmas, but this is limited time only. So this is only going to be available until January 4th, I believe it is. Let me double check on that. Yes, January 4th is the date for that. So this, of course, they don't match up perfectly with these, but they complement this stamp set very well. And that's what I'm going to be using, a little bit of this stamp set on my project and a little bit of this for the greeting. Also, for the limited time, beginning November 3rd until January 4th, there is a paper pack, designer series paper pack called Classic Christmas. It's a 6x6 paper pack. There's 3 main colors in it besides white, and they are shaded spruce, Sahara sand, and cherry cobbler. So a very Christmas color collection. And there's several prints and designs, and of course they are double-sided. And let's see what else to tell you. So I'll show you basically this set here, so you can kind of see what they're like. And then on the back side you have some other designs. So this is the paper pack, is only limited time again, as is the Curvy Christmas stamp set. They're also offering a bundle to get all of it, and you get a little bit of a discount if you decide to purchase all of the elements. And it's called the Quite Curvy Variety Bundle. So that would give you all of everything. So both stamp sets, the die set, and a pack of the paper. Or you can buy the individual pieces, or you can buy these two as a bundle and get a little bit of a discount as well. So I will provide more details on that, but as far as the pricing and item numbers, of course, if you're a customer, they're not available yet. Hi Beth, I see you're stitching. It's now an addiction. Well, that's okay. It's not the worst addiction you can have, stitching. But I'm not using the dies with this, but I will show you a card that I made with this and the Curvy Christmas after I'm done with my project. So what I am going to use is, like I said, a couple of stamps. I'm going to be using this little teeny snowflake here and this little dotted stamp that has like some small little dots that would create a nice little background. And then I'm using the one that says made with love just for you, because it's a little treat or favor. Okay. I am going to be using a piece of the 6x6 paper, and I have chosen one of the Sahara sand ones for tonight. I've chosen this one, and this of course is 6x6, but what you want to do before you score it is to trim it down just a little teeny bit. So what you're going to do is trim down to 15 centimeters by 15 centimeters. So you cut off a little sliver, almost like 1/8 of an inch from each side, just from these two sides, not all four, but just two sides that touch each other. You don't want to do opposite sides. You want to do these two sides here, okay? So that's what you're going to do as first step, is trim it down from 6x6 down to 15 centimeters by 15 centimeters, or 5 7/8 by 5 7/8. Okay, I got this fold idea from another demonstrator in the UK. You probably have heard of her. Her name is Poodles. Well, her name is Sam, but she goes by Poodles. That's her blog and her online name. So I am now going to get my scoring plate out, or scoring tool, and I'm going to score my piece of paper. So again, I've already cut it down, so you can see it's not quite at 6. It's just below the 6 mark. And if you rotate it, it's not quite at 6. Okay, it's a little bit less than the 6 mark, because here's the 6 mark. It's a little bit less, like 1/8 of an inch. Okay, so it doesn't really matter when you're scoring it which side you do it on. Sometimes you will have, in this case, sometimes you may have a design that is directional, so you'll want to pay attention to that when you're scoring. All right, let me grab my tool. So the first score line I'm going to make is at 1.5. So 1.5, just score it. And then 4.5. And I will put all of these measurements in the description of the video when I am done. Okay, so 1.5 and 4.5. Then I'm going to rotate 90 degrees, and I'm going to score it at 2.25, and then 3 3/4. And again, if you don't have this scoring tool, you could always use your cutter and do your scoring there. So that's going to give you basically 4 lines, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Hopefully the camera can see some of those lines. Rotate a little bit, and sometimes the design, you can see it better on certain sides. So let me, actually I might, well, I'll move this out of the way. So that's all the scoring you have to do, is those 4 lines. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, we need to look at the paper and hold it a certain way to then trim to start to make our box. Oh, I haven't showed you the box yet. All right. I made one in one of the cherry cobbler pieces, and this is what it looks like. So it's a little treat bag. I won't say it's a box, but a little treat bag. That's what we're making. Okay? All right. So when you go to cut your paper, you're going to want to hold it. So you can see here, there's a very wide piece here and a wide piece here. You actually want those on the left and right of you, and so that the narrow pieces are at the top and the bottom. Okay? So the top and the bottom is where your narrow pieces should be when you go to cut. And then you're going to take, and on these 2 score lines here, just cut straight up to your score line that comes across perpendicular. Okay? So hopefully you can see that. And then you're going to just trim a little teeny bit here, just a sliver to create a flap, if you will. So these will just get thrown away. Okay. Then you're going to rotate it 180 degrees, so all the way around. So again, the narrow edge is the one you want to be cutting, not the wide edge. Those wide edges should be on the sides. Those will eventually become your front and back. Same thing, cut up on the score lines up to the perpendicular line, and then do a little trim work here, just cutting out a sliver. This will make it easier to come together when you fold it. Okay, so that's all I've done. That's all you're going to need to cut. So we've cut and scored everything we need to already. The template that she had, or videos she showed showing how to make this, of course, it was made like 5 years ago, so it's very different paper and designs and ribbons and everything, but the basic concept of the treat holder bag itself is where I got the idea from her. So the next thing you want to do is just crease on all your score lines, and this is when you're also going to want to decide which side do I want to be my outside. So I kind of like the stars on the outside, but you could choose whatever print, and of course you could do this with any designer paper. You could also do it with cardstock, but it doesn't fold as nicely as the designer series paper. It's a little tougher, so you just want to really burnish those if you're using cardstock instead of designer paper. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my Stampin' Seal Plus, because whenever I'm doing a 3D project, I definitely want to use the stronger adhesive. So I like to use the Stampin' Seal Plus. You could also use tear and tape. You could use glue as well, like liquid glue, but I tend to get that very messy, so I tend to stick with something that I don't have liquid on. So I'm going to fold this flap in a little bit and just put some adhesive, strong adhesive there on the flap, and then I'm going to fold this wide one over and then just kind of square it up and adhere that flap to the other outside flap. Same thing on this one. Put some adhesive on your flap that you trimmed earlier, and then fold up and just so that it kind of squares up. Okay. Then we need to put some adhesive on this piece, because this is going to fold here and close it together. Okay. So I would probably put a piece at the top, what will become the top, and the side. Of course, I'm using a little bit extra adhesive, and I'm going to go ahead and put it on this side too, because once I close it, it's going to be harder to stick adhesive on here. So just go ahead and do both flaps before you start to close it up. Get that out of the way. Again, just fold it up and square it up. Okay, so you've created your little holder there. Okay, so then you can decide which is the front, which is the back. So again, if this is your seam here, I'd probably pick the opposite side. Then you're going to want to just hold it in your hands like this and poke in your index fingers to kind of crease it there, and then that just creates a little, you can just pinch them together, almost like it looks like a milk carton on the side there, on both sides. And then I'm going to use some kind of hole punch. Now, we don't sell handheld punches anymore, handheld hole punches, but that's our old one that we have, but any hole punch will work. And I'm using 1/4 of an inch. So I'm just going to put that right through all of it and punch that. So I've got a hole there for my ribbon. Okay. Then we're going to need to make a little tag for it. So I've taken a 1-inch piece of Whisper White cardstock, no specific length, that's just 1 inch wide here. And I just have this is a random scrap of Whisper White. I'm going to use Cherry Cobbler ink. That's one of the complementary colors to this paper pack. I think that'll look nice with the Sahara sand. So I'm gonna just stamp the greeting kind of right in the center of my 1-inch piece of Whisper White, or a little bit off, but you know what I'm saying. That works. And again, this is from the new Quite Curvy stamp set, this greeting. Okay. Then I'm going to come in with my Sahara Sand ink pad, and from the Curvy Christmas stamp set, again, I'm using the little snowflake and this little dots to kind of fill in a little bit of a background on this label. So I'm going to start with the snowflake, and I'll probably do 5 or so snowflakes, just kind of randomly spread around. Okay, then I'm going to take the little dots and then just splatter those around as well, just to give a little more, it's like there's snowflakes in the background. Okay, then to make the label itself, I am using my Timeless Label Punch from the regular catalog, and I'm actually not punching out the entire label, because I've got, my paper is not as wide as the label, so it's going to be a little bit smaller, but that is helpful because the treat bag is not that big. So there's that. This will be trash, scrap. Okay, then we need to get some ribbon. So I am using some of the ribbon from the Wonder of the Season ribbon combo pack. I'm going to use about 8 inches of the gold cord, if you will. I guess that's what it's called. Katie is here too, working on an old paper pumpkin. That's not that old, May 2020. Oh, February, still not that old. It's still this year. It's still 2020. So. And then I'm going to use some of the wide one, again, about 8 inches. And this is a shaded spruce, so that goes nicely with this color combination as well. Okay, so of course at this point you'd want to add some little treats, some candies, a small little gift. And then we're going to finish our construction. We're going to just thread the wide ribbon through. That's why I used a bigger hole punch, is because this ribbon is very wide. I'm not going to be tying this ribbon. I'm just basically threading it through and holding it up top like this, and I'm going to let the gold cord gather it together. So I'm going to leave this a little bit long. I'm not going to trim it down because I am going to have to unwrap this and put some treats in it when I'm ready to use it as a little gift. But I think these will be perfect little gift holders for teachers, bus drivers, just a little something, maybe a little gift card inside there poking out in their card. And again, I'm going to leave my cord and my ribbon a little bit longer than normal. So this one I kind of already trimmed down a bit, but I'm going to leave this long so that when I go to actually fill it up, I can take it apart and not destroy it. So. All right, and then the tag here, I'm going to use just a couple of dimensionals on the back of that. And pop that on the front. So look how easy peasy that was. So just, you could crank a bunch of these out. Just cut all your designer series paper down to that 15 centimeter by 15 centimeter, and then start scoring them all and do all the score lines all at one time. You can easily do that sitting in front of the TV or in your craft space, wherever you want to be. And then do the folding, like kind of do an assembly line style. So super easy. But again, you could do this with different labels, different greetings, different designer papers. There's lots of options for these. Let me show you the card that I made that at my event last night for the team. This is the Christmas card I made. So this uses several of the dies and the stamp set, the Curvy Christmas stamp set. And then I accented with some of the holiday rhinestones. These rhinestones are actually in the regular catalog, and they're quite nice. There's a good variety of colors on them. So I stamped the background in cherry cobbler, so it's kind of tone on tone there. You can barely see it, but it is stamped with a little pine branch. And then the first thing I did was cut this out with the curvy dies here, and then I stamped my Merry Christmas and I stamped my tree. So I'd already cut it to 3 inches wide, and this is a 3-inch square of designer paper back here. So this was cut 3 inches by about 4 inches. So I cut this off first, then I stamped Merry Christmas and my trees, and then I came in with the opposite side of the die and cut off this part to kind of mimic the tree line. And then this one up here, I did quite the opposite. I started up top and cut out the dots on the piece of paper. It was Whisper White, again, just 3 inches wide. And I did that one about 3 inches tall. So I cut this off first, then I came in and stamped my stars, and that's in crushed curry. These two colors are shaded Spruce and Cherry Cobbler. So that's stamped in crushed curry, and then I came back in and cut this straight line off. And again, to kind of mimic the curviness of the stamp. So it's a little bit of a process, but it was fun nonetheless. And then I just added a piece of the designer paper back behind there, kind of, and it is popped up. These two pieces are popped up on top. On the inside, I just did Thinking of You at Christmas, and then I did one of the little birds, and I colored it with some cherry cobbler blends. So nothing crazy, but it was a lot of fun, and I thought they went well together, and they're just really nice colors. They're, you know, a richer Christmas color combination, and I thought they were fun. So just want to share that with you tonight. So again, if you're watching and you want to share what you're doing, several of you already have. Don't forget to do that, because that will get your name into the Prize Patrol drawing. Also, if you share the Facebook Live and share it on your Facebook, then you will also get an entry into the drawing for the Prize Patrol. So I didn't tell you what the Prize Patrol winner is going to get. So the winner is going to get an assortment of the designer papers. So of these new designer papers. So make sure you get your name in for the drawing for this week. And they will also get a couple of cards as well. So hopefully that is appealing to you to get some of this brand new paper. It isn't out yet. And then I do want to remind you that the Designer Series paper sale, which doesn't include this one, unfortunately, because this one is not even out to customers yet. The Designer Series paper sale ends on Saturday, the 31st. So don't forget to get that order in if you are looking to order some Designer Series paper. There's 15 papers on sale for 15% off. So if you would like to place an order for those, the last day to do that is on Saturday. Okay, so one more note to tell you before I sign off for the night is that next week I will be attending a virtual Stampin' Up! Event. I actually have a little pin. I will be attending on stage, and that will be next Thursday. I'll be here in the studio, but the event starts live for us at 7:30 p.m. So, and it goes until the party ends. That's basically what they've told us. So thank you, Irene. Thank you. But I'll be attending on stage, and that will be next week. So there will be no virtual craft together next week, because the on-stage event will actually be Thursday. It'll be Friday all day and Saturday all day. So my weekend is full of stamping, and I'm super excited about it. I just got my swag bag, or swag box as they called it, and I got some really fun goodies, a new stamp set. I'll show you some of that week after next. So again, we won't be doing a virtual craft together next week, which would be the 5th of November. But I will join you again here in the Sweet Tea Stampers community on the 12th. So I hope you can join me again, and I look forward to crafting with you in a couple of weeks. Have a great night, and we will talk to you later. Bye-bye.